Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the market close for Monday, January 12th. We got a green market. We got a pretty strong green market on the TSX, powered by the three amigos. You guys know the three amigos: gold, silver, and copper. So the three amigos of materials, I guess. The three material goals. I don't know. I tried. But yeah, it's definitely looking really good out there. We got a pretty strong green market. I'm liking it. I'm liking it quite a bit. Holy banana bread. We got other drivers. We got other drivers going on as well. Down in the South, in the United States, Mr. Trump is starting to cause a little more trouble, trying to push for some charges to be laid against, Papa Powell. The whole idea there is that when he was renovating his office or whatever, he didn't tell people the full story. That's what Trump is saying. I don't think it has much legs. It did cause a little bit of uncertainty in the morning in the U.S. markets, but they've bounced back. Everything is looking pretty good. It's looking pretty strong. It's not a bad day at all. And let's actually we're going to take a quick gander at the market. I have to share the page. I did not share the page. And it's quite, as soon as I hit the little countdown, it's too late. It's too late at that point to do it. So, but that's fine. I can pull it up in a lickety split. Here's the TSX today. Look at this. We're up 0.75. So as you can see, I don't have to zoom out for you to see it. A new all-time high, of course, on the TSX today. So what's pretty cool about this is, yes, we're having a pretty strong January. And it makes me wonder, could commodities this year, could they be the golden goose? Could they keep the TSX propped up, and can they keep this going? So far, January's been a continuation of 2025. So just looking so far this month, we are up 3.60% on the TSX. If we look at the last year, so from January 12th of last year till January 12th of this year, we're currently up 31.40% on the TSX. That's not too shabby, guys. That's not too shabby at all. I am definitely liking it. Makes me proud to be a Canadian. The S&P 500. Let's just jump a little bit south here. They're having a good day. Not as good a day as Canada. They're up 0.19%. On the, year to date, they're only up 1.46. So they're about half of what they're about half of what we are. And if you also look at them on the 1 year, their 1 year right now is coming in at 18.48%. So once again, they're nowhere near that 30% mark that Canada's sitting at. So what can I say? The NASDAQ doing a little bit better than the S&P 500. They're up 0.23%. Tech definitely doing. I think there's still a lot of. We just had CES, and I think there's still a lot of happy people from CES, and especially seeing how far robotics has come, and some of the next and best gadgets coming out with AI powering them. So I think that's certainly, I think that is certainly helping for sure. They are still in a green month. They're well up. They're on year to date 1.18%, and their 1 year is better than the S&P 500. They're at 22.91%. Looking at the industrial stocks, they're also having a green day, up 0.13, and their year to date is actually, they're actually at 3%. So that's not too shabby. And finally, guys, we got the Russell, the little guys up 0.50%. They're well above the blue line. I have to really drag it up to see it. This This one doesn't give me the percentages for this one. I wish it did. I wish it did. But let's take a look at our superstars for the day. Remember I mentioned the three amigos? Well, we've got gold up 2.05, silver up 6.65. At one point, silver was up 9%. So that's not too shabby at all. And copper up 1.55%. And of course, well, commodities are having a party. Oil wants to go up too. So West Texas Intermediate today up 1.28%. So not too shabby. Bitcoin up a wee bit, up 0.64. Ethereum down a little bit, down about 0.51%. Whoa, let's not do that. Let's head into our heat maps. We'll start with Canada. Looking at the banks, a little bit of downness. Well, half. It's kind of half and half. Royal Bank down 0.28, TD down 0.26. BMO looking pretty good, up 0.56. CIBC looking up. Scotiabank looking down, and National Bank also looking a little bit down. But of course, our non-energy minerals, it's almost solid green in here. We got a lot of good companies up. Barrick Gold, Cameco, Tech is up. Yeah, definitely a good day. London Mining is up. I don't know where, I can't see where London Gold is in here, but I'm pretty sure that they're having a good day too. Oil, most of our oil is also looking good. C&Q up. Other than Suncor is actually down 0.66%, so I don't know what's going on there. Who is this here? Oh, ARCs. ARC is up 2.13%, so not too shabby. Both railroads are down. CP a little bit further down than CNR today. Looking at the United States, bang, boom. Get rid of the ad. You can see a little bit of strength here in the technology sector. So NVIDIA up 0.45, Apple up 0.65, Google 0.75. Microsoft is down, and Meta is down almost a full percent. So not everybody is enjoying the ride. Tesla, though, they're cruising a little bit, up 1.13%. So not too shabby. And if you're a fan of Caterpillar, they're up 1.71%. So gotta love it. Gotta love it. All right. Looking at, go away ad. Looking at crypto. Yeah, mostly a green day. Bitcoin up a full percent. We can see XRP's up a tiny bit. Solana's actually up 1.53, so that's not too shabby. Ethereum is down a wee bit. But it is technically a green day because whatever Bitcoin's doing, they're the king of the coins. So we got a tradition. We got a tradition here. There's about 15,000 altcoins out there. I like to just grab a random one that's the opposite color of whatever Bitcoin is doing. And Bitcoin is in the green, so we'll grab some little red coin. Let's grab this one. Oh, I don't know what this is. We'll take a look. And we are at Masa? All right. I don't know what this is. Mesa? Maybe that's how you pronounce it. Mesa? So, yeah. Wow. This one, I don't know. I don't think it's a foundation. It's certainly not masonry. But yeah, it's something. It's not worth much. It's worth basically 0.18. Well, I would round it up to 0.19 of a cent. What can I say? This is a coin I'm never really going to touch, guys. I call them crap coins. The reason I do that is that, well, it's like going to the casino. And heck, nowadays you can go to the casino on your phone. I don't know if those casinos have crap tables. They probably do. But nonetheless, you play craps, it's not in your favor. You're probably not going to win, and you're probably not going to win with Mesa here. So yeah, no idea what this is. But if you are interested in an altcoin or one of the smaller, less obscure coins, or more obscure coins, I should say, do your homework. Read the white paper. Follow the developers on social media. Find out what it's about. Make sure it's something that you got full confidence in, because there's a lot of rug pulls out there. And there's a lot of coins that make absolutely no sense. There's money to be made in crypto, but, stick to your big coins. Stick to your Bitcoins, your Ethereum, your XRP, your Solana, your Cardano, and gosh darn it, even the Dogecoin. Even the Dogecoin is not a bad coin to be looking at. All right, we got 20 minutes to the bell. And guys, I'm not going to miss the bell this week. I'm not missing the bell. Now, of course, we don't know how many shows we got this week, but by the way, the Financial Express, it is still going. So this is, you guys added the show on Friday. If you want to add tomorrow, you guys know what to do. Basically, either 4 supers or 4 gifted subs or any combination. I think the Nightbot will remind you guys a few times about that. Let's go big again, and let's hit the comments. Who was in first today? Claude, hello, silver is on fire. Yeah, silver's doing good. If I remember correctly, a lot of you guys last week and on the weekend were thinking, oh no, they're going to reset the price of silver. Well, if they're resetting it in the opposite direction. Brian said, good afternoon, everyone. I dropped a couple of silver emojis just because I thought it would be funny. Crispy Bones says that one silver coin I bought last year is finally paying off. Nice. Nice. If you don't mind me asking, how much did you pay and how much is it worth now? That's kind of a cool, kind of a good idea to know. Scott saying happy Monday all. And there's the Nightbot. All right, Brian sneaking in another small gain. So far today, up 0.30% overall. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. I always say this, if you're up, it doesn't matter how much you're up, you're still up. Scott says he was also telling the credit card companies that they can't charge more than 10% interest. I heard about that. I actually kind of agree with that one. Credit cards, the interest on credit cards is crazy, guys. Like, if you get a credit card and let's say you don't have the best credit in the world, you're probably paying 25%. Maybe even more. I don't know, but it is outrageous the amount that credit card companies pay. Now, obviously, that won't help us up here in Canada, but I wouldn't mind seeing a similar rule. I'd love to see interest caps. Especially, could you imagine if the government ever was brave enough to create interest caps on loans and things? We could put Money Mart out of business. That would be great. I would love to see them go out of business. I'm not a fan of predatory lending, and Money Mart, in my opinion, they take advantage of people who don't have money. So that is low. I consider that low. Brian says the U.S. definitely needs someone controlling the Fed that had bankrupted 6 businesses. Well, keep in mind, even if Donald Trump gets rid of Powell, and he's going to soon anyway, because his term is coming up this year. So the reality is, whoever Donald Trump puts in there, the person doesn't have, like Jay Powell, he does not have the power. He is just, he has to still get the votes, He can't, he's not all powerful, and neither will whoever Trump puts in. There's still a committee. You still have to go through, there's still a democratic process within the Fed. So it could be messy, though. I will definitely say that. Paul says, good afternoon. Green Day blocks plus 2.95, Tesla 1.26, Harvest Tesla plus 1 share MSTE plus 2.62 for a 1.37% Green Day. Not too shabby. Brian says, I don't think he can control the credit card companies like that. They will lose money because of all the people that default on their credit card. I don't think he can directly control them. Like, there would have to be legislature that would have to go through. Trump likes to sort of just, I can just executive order this and that and everything else. But he's getting a lot of pushback. Yeah, and we're at the point, too, that even Republicans are starting to push back. Scott, yeah, he can't, but don't tell him that. Brian says, I see Trump put more ICE agents in Minnesota as well. Gosh. What can we do? What can we do? All right. Steph WPLS on deck screener. I have no idea what you're talking about. But hey, if you want to explain it, that'd be cool. Tom says, reached my 40 sell price on Tesla, but left with 28 shares. All in all, a win. Nice, nice. There we go, Tom. You managed to get out of that one. I got a little further to go, but I am looking at making a maneuver. If they start to head back down, I've got some plans. I got some plans. Mary is in the house, and guys, Mary is our official captain of the like button. So if you've not hit the like button, now's the time. Click that thumb, turn it blue. It really, really is, well, it's really important for the YouTube algorithm. It bases a lot on engagement, and that's the simplest form of engagement you can give, but it's also one of the most powerful. So please do us a solid. And while you guys are doing that, I'm going to have some coffee. And there we go. Brian just proved that Mary works. that Mary has done her job again. Look at this. Oops, I hit the like button now. See, Mary just has to show up and say hi. And for some folks, that's enough. Rory, hi, just came over from Stompin' Tom Connor's Sudbury Saturday night. Stompin' Tom. Does he still tour? Is it? Well, let me start this off. Is he still alive? If he is, does he still tour? That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. He had that song about the hockey game, I think. Rob says, I got in on SVR last Friday at 37.44 and sold today for 39.50, 107 shares, made $220. There we go. That is a victory. That's a huge victory. That's actually not too bad. That's not too bad. That's a good amount. I like it. Scott says, my copper penny stock Oracle was a rocket today. Currently, daily gain is at $2,150. How much did this go up? I kind of want to see now. Let's see. Let's take a gander. I'm kind of curious because, I mean, if you put a ton of money into it, it doesn't need to go up much. But there we go. Where are we at? ORA. No, it's ORO. Oracle, here we go. Oracle Resources right here. Oh, look at that. Holy banana bread. So yeah, they're up 54.02%. The power of a good penny stock pick. This guy's right here. I just want to point this out. So, going from 38 to 67. This is what everybody hopes when they invest in penny stocks. This is what everybody's hoping for. Scott pulled the right penny stock for sure. But I will tell you, a lot of times you may hope for this, but a lot of times you're not going to get this. So even though this is super, super impressive, just keep in mind that there's probably another 20 different stocks that you could have invested in that wouldn't have done this, and maybe even would have went down depending on what's going on in the market. Now, I have a feeling, is this a mining stock? Let me just see here. Yeah, looks like mining. Extra mineral concessions. Yeah, so minerals, core concessions. So yeah, this is definitely the right sector today if you were looking at penny stocks. But guys, be super careful with penny stocks. Be very careful. But nicely done, Scott. Nicely done. And just a second, Scott, please tell me you took some profits. There's still 11 minutes left to take some profits. Take some profits, please. At least take your capital. Take your original, so that way you're just playing with play money. Nightbot. Yeah, the Nightbot, mentioning if you guys want to stream tomorrow, that's available. Paul, if 3 red days in a row with volume as sellers is a sign, what is a 3 green days in a row with volume as buyers? What sign is that? I don't put a lot of I don't put a lot of stock in that. I kind of look at it this way. I mean, if you get a really solid bull market, you can get many green days in a row. Um, so yeah, I don't really put any stock into that at all. Let's see. But if there are illegals in Minnesota, they need to be deported. I have a feeling that if there are illegals in the States, I think most of them have probably already left of their own accord and get out before ICE gets them. A lot of the stories I'm hearing are people who are, U.S. citizens. They've done everything right, and then ICE is just coming and picking them up. So, yeah. Died years ago. Okay, yeah, I thought Stompin' Tom was dead. Okay, there we go. So Stompin' Tom died in 2013. He lived about 15 minutes north of me. Oh, wow. Did you ever go over to his house to jam, Brian? Just go over there, maybe bring the fiddle, have some fun. Doorpat says, hello, everyone. What are your thoughts on IBM? Also, generally, how long should you hold CDRs to reduce drag due to MER? 1 year, 5 years, maybe at some point I will start swing trades with CDRs. I don't know if there's here's the thing. I always look at it this way. There's a lot of considerations to take in mind with CDRs. Yes, you are paying, you do have a management expense ratio on them. So you are losing some money that you could be making. So is it better to invest directly into let's just say NVIDIA? Yeah, it is. But if you are in a situation where you don't have a US account, and when you start to factor in everything from currency conversion to any fees moving it over, especially if you have a broker that doesn't have a Norbit's Gambit option, that amount sort of gets a little bit smaller. So I look at it that way. So, excuse me, is there an ideal length of time to hold a CDR? Well, if that's your only real access to that asset, if you're happy with what the returns that you are getting, I don't think there has to be a time limit. Yeah, absolutely. Just be aware that that MER is going away, but if you were doing it the other way as well, you would have the currency conversion and everything else. So there's always going to be fees one way or another, but if you're happy with the product, like I said, I would just say it doesn't matter per se. But obviously, if you want to be a purist and you want to max out every penny that you can get, you're still better off in that case to buy the original asset. For longer time holds, like if you wanted to hold NVIDIA, if you're planning to hold them for the next 10 years, even with currency conversion, I would just do that. I would just put NVIDIA, because you can, like in your regular Canadian account, you can hold NVIDIA there. It doesn't have to be in a US account, but you are going to get hit with currency conversion when you do it. So that's kind of one of those things. So if you were in a situation where, let's say you just wanted to buy a big chunk of NVIDIA today, all at one time, it's not as bad. Now, if you were, of course, dollar cost averaging over time, then all of them currency conversions of that, those will really start catching up to you. So yeah, I would just say if you're planning to do it for any length of time, like I would say, I wouldn't call 1 year a length of time, but if you're planning to do it for maybe 5 years, 10 years, you probably want to go to the actual, you want to go to the actual NVIDIA opposed to the NVIDIA CDR. But if you're doing swing trades, CDRs are fantastic. They are absolutely. Well, I mean, ask Tom or maybe Scott, because right now, all hail Scott. There we go. Patricia is in the house with a hi. All right. Danielle, let's see. Daniel says, thoughts on REITs. Bought MREL as an all-around basket. All right. So REITs. I mean, I like REITs, but I'm not super bullish on REITs this year. I think they'll do better than they did last year, especially depending on the type of REIT if you're looking at. So, for example, I think office REITs are still going to struggle. But some REITs, like industrial REITs, I think will do pretty well. I think residential will do okay. So, going for a basket. So in the case of MREL, and let's just see here. Let's pull it up. Good old, and this is Middlefield. So this is a Middlefield real estate dividend ETF. So, all right, I'm just going to pull up the 1 year. And on this one here, yeah, it has moved up a little bit. And that's the advantage, is that they're getting some of the goodness from the other REITs. Now, it's also got a half decent distribution, but keep in mind, I believe with this one, take it, double check, but I do believe that because all of the distributions coming through this one are, of course, 100% taxable, I think that tax is getting passed on to you. So this one might be 100% taxable, its distribution, but I'm not 100% sure how they've got this one structured, but chances are that could be what's going on there. If anybody can verify that, would love for you to do that. Paul says, baked-sized French fries, how they love tomatoes, so dress them up with Heinz ketchup. The good old Heinz. Brian, Stompin' Tom's music didn't blend well with Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Rush, etc. He played a lot of the bars around here, but I'm not a bar person. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. I think my only exposure to him is they used to play his hockey song on like Hockey Night in Canada back in the day. All right. Crispy says, I bought an overpriced 1-ounce silver Lunar Year coin as a present, not investment, for $108 Canadian. Okay. And how long ago was that? Oops. Whew, sorry about that, guys. I had to sneeze, of all things. Paul says, and this guy from PEI they used to call potato got 2 boys and a little girl, 2 spuds and 1 tomato. Okay. There we go. Balik is saying, hey all. And guys, we're getting close to the bell. I'm not going to miss the bell today. I'm not going to miss the bell. I think I'm not going to miss. I'm going to try not to miss the bell. Let's see. Stompin' Tom got to age 77. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Bud the Spud. Let's see. Check your time. Getting close. Hourglass Purple Sand. Yeah. I know. Well, guys, I set the alarm on my watch for 1 minute 2. I have no idea what the alarm on my watch sounds like. I hope it's just a buzz, but we'll find out. We'll find out. I've got no idea. Paul says ADHD time to go on a ADHD time to go on a tangent. Well, here's the thing. If this alarm thing goes well, I'll just put my hand on the bell. If I put my hand on the bell 1 minute before the bell, I think I'm going to get it. I think I'm going to get it. Brian, I almost typed a 10-minute warning. Oh, no. The silver people from 1980 finally broke even. And Rob says, I wonder how silver is going to trade like on the other side of the planet tonight. Interesting. That'll be interesting because I know that ooh, there we go. It just vibrates. It just vibrates. So now I got 1 minute, 50 seconds. I just put my hand on the bell and I'm pushing the end of the bell into the palm of my hand. So it's uncomfortable. This will ensure that I hit the bell on time, and we should never miss another bell. Of course, I say that I will still probably find a way, but for now we're looking. It's looking good, and we'll go big screen here as we get closer to the bell. We got about 20 seconds. If you don't like loud noises, or your cats don't like loud noises, or your dogs, feel free to turn the volume down for this because right now, 10 seconds to the bell. Oh boy, it's happening. I'm going to be on time. I can see it. All right, guys, it's bell time. The market's closed. I got the bell on time. There we go. The alarm worked. Why didn't I set this like years ago? I should have been using an alarm on my watch like years ago. Absolutely. So bell has happened. Markets closed. The first Monday of this week, in the bag, a nice green day. So definitely cool. Elaine says, hey all, happy Monday. And, Bill says, MREL payments are split across other income, foreign, non-business income, eligible dividend, capital gains, and return of capital on Middlefield's website. Perfect. All right, so there we go. And that's why guys, if I have, like, when we were talking about this one, like I said, I wasn't sure because I hadn't really looked at it, but thank you, Bill, for looking that up. So always good to double check things, guys. Even if you're listening to somebody like me or whoever, and I'm certain or I'm sure of something, still look it up. Still look it up because I try to let you guys know if I have any kind of uncertainty, but maybe one of these days I'll think I know something and I just don't. So always double check, fact check. That's the word. I guess that's kind of a buzzword nowadays. Muggsy says, woohoo for the bell. I love it. I love it. I love that it is on time. Nightbot in there with the Financial Express says we're still heading there. We're still heading there. I think we are. I mean, well, this could be the last day. Who knows? Brian says you are still about 11 to 12 second delay based on when you said you had 10 seconds to go. Yeah, there is a tiny delay. And that I can't get around it. That's YouTube end. That's on the YouTube end because I've got it set so for the smallest possible delay I can have. So, but 11 seconds, that's not too bad. It almost makes me feel like I should ring the bell at 11 seconds too, but I'm sure you guys are okay with the 11 seconds. Rob, SVR closed at 39.88. I have a feeling SVR is going to drop tomorrow for North America. Oh, interesting. Well, I hope you took some profits today, Rob. Ooh, Canoe up to 16.16. I think I like it. Let's... and I just noticed Muggsy's comment next. We'll just go there very quickly. And then we'll go back to Canoe. I want to take a look at that. You need to fix the month in the Nightbot. What? Does the Nightbot have the wrong month in there? Oh, yeah, it does. I see that. All right. Here, give me 1 second. I'll fix it right now. There we go. I think just hit enter. Or no, that didn't do it. I just have to find there's the update button. It was behind the camera. All right, there we go. The next one that pops up should have the January instead of December. Nice. All right, Canoe. Let's bring this back up. We're going to go over to EIT. Oh, this is exciting. Look at that. Yes, 16.16. Love it. Yeah, we've got Canoe is on a good tear. Now, keep in mind too, we are just after the voluntary redemption. So those people who decided to sell their shares back to Canoe, well, those shares, they just basically I don't want to say get demolished, but it's pretty much an unofficial share buyback. So it does tend to lower the outstanding share number, and that does help push Canoe up a little bit. But nonetheless, not bad. We've now got a $16 Canoe. Of course, that does push their yield down a little bit. I really want to see 11 cents. I know we won't, but I still want to. Larry is in the house. Why, hello there, Larry. Let's see, bought a nice amount of ASPs today on a crazy drop market. Dropped from over 300 million a monthish ago to 60 million. Volume was 52K. I bought 47,230 of the shares. Nice. That's a good amount. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like this morning in the U.S. market, there was a little bit of volatility thanks to the whole Trump Powell thing. So is that when you got in, Larry? Scott says, didn't hit my sell limit. We'll see if I'm laughing or crying tomorrow. Oh, okay. Well, I hope I hope you're laughing. Opposed to crying, because, what can I say? What can I say? Oh, boy. So, guys, those of you who are channel members, you've already seen it. So, yeah, well, let's talk about channel members just for a moment. So, channel members, we got a channel member live stream coming up on Thursday evening. So that's at 7 p.m. Eastern. So I did send a post out today in addition to the swing trade stuff, just to ask you guys if there's anything you want me to cover. So definitely let me know about that. So, if you want me, I know one person wants me to talk a little bit about my strategies with swing trading. So I'm going to definitely bring that in as well. So yeah, if there's anything at all, like it doesn't matter. If you guys ask me 3 or 4 different things that you want me to cover, I'll try to hit them all for you guys. But yeah, definitely do that. The other thing is, I'm going to ask you guys a question during that live stream as well, and because I got a couple of ideas. I'm always trying to find ways to make, to make it worthwhile to be a channel member. So I got another little idea, but it won't be something that we'll do. We'll do it after the Financial Express finishes. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys about that on Thursday night. All right, Brian says, I still have 2,000 shares of Canoe. I sold off 950 shares a couple of months ago. I started buying at around $10. The largest portion was in the $14 to $15 range. Okay, fair enough. RA says, can you explain what the voluntary share redemption means, please? Sure. So once a year, what Canoe will do is normally, I believe it's in November, they'll send out a notification saying that they're going to redeem, and they have a certain amount of shares in mind. Like there's a cap on it, but they'll say, we're going to put in a redemption. Basically, if you sign up for it, if you say yes, if you opt in, and you'll usually get something from your broker letting you know about it. But if you opt in, they will then sell you, they will buy however many shares it is that you've opted in with. They'll buy those from you at the NAV on a specific date, and they give you the date for that. So whatever the net asset value is. So from your perspective, if you're thinking, okay, well, I want to do it. And I don't know why. Honestly, I honestly don't know why people would do it, because I always look at it this way, that the NAV is, it's usually pretty close to the price anyway. But, some people will do it. They'll say, okay, yeah, I will do that. There's nothing really more. This really isn't anything that you get from it other than you get that the net asset value at that date. If there is any kind of a difference between the net asset value and the share price, well, yeah, okay, cool. You might make a little bit of a profit if that happens, or you could also, it could go in the other direction too. So I don't know. I would never do it. But when Canoe gets all of those shares, the people who do opt in, basically they're typically basically just share buybacks. So, the date comes in January, and they, these shares, they take them from you, they bought them, but they don't resell them. They disappear. So the outstanding share number will go down. And because of that, the way math works, that then pushes your share price up a little bit. And that's part of what we're seeing. I don't think it's all of what we're seeing. But yeah, it's kind of this thing. I personally would never do it. Like, I'm like, why would I want to sell Canoe? I don't. So I don't. I wouldn't even be tempted. And even if I did want to sell Canoe, I prefer to control my own decision on when I'm going to sell. So I would never do it. All right. Vinny says, what is your best favorite ETF similar to a high yield savings account to stock some cash? All right. There's a whole bunch. There's a lot of them. You got, let's see. You got T-Cash. That's the TD one. There's also Cash. There is, and this is the thing, I will say, they're all pretty close to the same amount. Even 9shares. 9shares has NSAV, so NSAV. All of them you're going to typically get, and this is the thing to be a little bit leery of. So, and I'll show you. We'll do this with, let's do it with, I mentioned T-Cash. Let's go to T-Cash. All right, here we go. T-Cash right here. So this one here, if you look like this here, don't worry so much about this, but if you take a look here, it's telling you your distribution yield is 3.028%. Okay, well we'll just look on this little question mark. You can sort of see this here is basically, oh, it's not telling us what it is. This is basically the average over the last 12 months. So you might think, oh, okay, well, that's cool. It's an average, right? I love averages. Yay. Well, not so fast. If you go into the key data and you look, you'll sort of see that the dividend itself has been a little bit all over the place. Now, this is just the last 10. So the last one was 11 cents, 11 cents. It was up at 13.12, down to 8 cents there, 14.12, 10, 15. So you want to just sort of be aware of this. So typically what I'll do is I'll look at where it's at now. It's been at 11 for a couple of months. So I would say 11 cents in this matter. I would basically look at 11 cents being what I was expecting. So that would actually be a little bit less than the actual percentage that it's giving. I know when they had that 1 month when they only gave out 8 cents, a lot of people were like, oh no, that's down around it. That's not 2%. Well, that month, yeah, it was. But the average is that 3%. But I always take a look and get a general feel for where it's going. And I mentioned as well, there's other ones. So NSAF, this is the 9.1. And let's just see here, right here. You know, in this one here, it says, actually, it doesn't even say how much it is right there. Sometimes it doesn't. But when you just go to the key data and you'll take a look and you'll see, in this case here, 12 cents. So the last one that they declared was actually better than cash, or sorry, than T-Cash, because these are both around $50. So, you know, they were offering 12 cents at that time. But then look at the month before. So they move all over. I like a lot of these for a couple of reasons. One, you got liquidity. That's the big thing about it. A little bit of liquidity. It gives you that chance to park some money. You can get at it pretty quickly. So it's a great place. Like if you're a dollar cost averager. So let's just mention this. So a lot of times what a dollar cost average person will do is they'll say, okay, well, I'm going to buy X amount of dollars every week of this, of this stock or this ETF. Well, that money, there's no point in just sitting it in your account, right? If it's sitting there, like especially if you throw in enough money for the next few months to do the dollar cost average, well, you can throw it into a cash ETF, at least get a bit of extra money for it, so it makes you a little bit of money back, and then just sell however much of that ETF you need. Mind you, it is a manual process. You'd have to come in and do the selling yourself, of course. But so yeah, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. I'm actually going to do a video sooner than later on cash ETFs. I did one a while back, but I am going to do another one. Larry says, picked up a ton of oil as well on Iran attack, and people think house evictions won't happen anymore for ASP's been buying last 2 hours. I want more and already up between 3 to 7% already on ASPS. I think house evictions, God, as much as I hate to say it, but I think they're going to be on the rise, not just in the United States. There's a lot of people struggling. There's absolutely a lot of people struggling. Ian says, I thought EIT was heavy into oil and gas. Surprised they did not take a hit January 5th. Well, they're well diversified. So yes, they do have oil and gas, but they also got financials. They also are diversified not just into Canada. There's a lot of US in there as well. So yeah. And healthcare. Actually, they have a good amount of healthcare in there too. So interesting enough. Claude said, I spent half my divs to buy HBTE, but I'll wait to spend my other half in hopes it gets a bit lower before the next ex-dividend date. Okay, hard to say, but you never know. Scott says, I saw on BNN an analyst likes ARX because they had a hitch that dropped their profit by 2% and they dropped 30%. Okay, well, ARX actually did pretty good today. Here, let's take a quick gander here. I saw them down here. Is this it here? this our ARX right here? Yeah, right here. ARX up 2.05% today. So that's not too shabby. US CPI data is due tomorrow. Which sectors should be in focus? US CPI. That's going to be interesting. That'll be interesting. Now, the nice thing is this is data that usually drops before the market opens, which is good. I don't know if there's any one particular US sector that you should be watching for, depending on what's happening, other than tech seems to get the brunt of everything. I'm just saying they do, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow. And we're also getting close to rate cut time as well. So I know for Canada, the Bank of Canada is meeting on the 28th of January. So that's not this week, the following week, I think. Is it the following week? Time goes by so fast nowadays. RA says, thanks for the explanation, Candace. I am dripping my 1,100 shares in Canoe for the long haul. Nice. Canoe has 44% US interest, 47% Canada, roughly. Absolutely. Uh-oh. I see something. No, I see something. All right, let's take a gander and see what just happened here. All right, so Samantha has come in and gifted 5 Mountain Finance memberships. So, oh boy, we got a lot that's going to happen here, guys. And we have a lot that's going to happen. So first of all, we have a show for tomorrow. That's just done. Samantha has just bought tomorrow's show. So Samantha has pretty much, she's unlocked this goat here. This is the last time you're going to see this goat. This goat is now officially retired, guys. We also unlocked the second goat. And the third goat. Oh boy, all in one foul swoop. Guys, I hope you like goats. There's a lot of them here. And our final fourth goat is unlocked. Now, we also unlocked our ice dancing goat. So that's not unlocked, but you know. And the secret goat, guys. I've been giving you guys hints of the secret goat. The secret goat, well, you needed, I gave one hint, 5. The other hint I gave was membership has privileges, and this is how you unlock it. 5 gifted membership unlocks the new goat. And here's our new goat. It is our Monopoly goat. So what can I say? Monopoly goat is now number 1. So I will have to, oh boy, for tomorrow, I gotta get the second one. I gotta get the second one prepared. So new secret goat starting tomorrow. Holy banana bread. And if that wasn't everything, RA quickly jumped in with a 149 super sticker. Thank you, RA. Thank you, Samantha. And RA, once we hit the big number, we just repeat the same old dancing goat. So we got the dancing goat. Actually, you know what? For you guys, I still haven't deleted this one yet. I still got the flash dance goat. The flash dance goat is still here. I haven't deleted it yet, so there we go. All right. I feel like I live in a farm. Let's get back to where I was. All right. Tom. Tom says, you could hold extra cash in STRC. Just close your eyes when you see that it's a strategy holding. All right. Fair enough. Scott says, new goat. I know. Rob says, what is the ticker for Canoe? It is EIT.UN. So EIT.UN. Michael says, hello, Candace. Any thoughts on Nexus Industrial REIT, which has been hovering around $8? Let's take a look. Let's actually take a look. Whoops. Here we go. We'll go over to the share. Well, I was already on the share, wasn't I? All right. Next, I haven't looked at Nexus in a while. Now, I did say I am liking industrial REITs. I'm liking industrial REITs. And look at this. The strength of what's been going on just today has driven this one up 2.068%. Not too shabby. And here we go. Looking at the last year, yeah, of course, we got this. All REITs were sort of falling at the first part of the year, but they have been doing pretty good since then. So we've had a lot of recovery since Liberation Day, now their actual dividend currently right now sitting at 7.785. So this here is a REIT I like. I like this REIT. I think they should have a good year. And hovering around $8, I think they could do even better depending on how things are moving. But industrial is one of those sectors that when you start looking at infrastructure and you start looking at what is going to be happening in that sector, this almost becomes a bit of a support sector for infrastructure. So I do like I said, I'm liking industrial REITs. That's one of my favorites for sure. Roy saying EIT. Ian says, congratulations, everyone who won. I'm not bitter. Oh, no. Ian, you didn't win? Oh, dear. Brian says, LOL, love the new goats. There we go. And Brian is thanking Samantha for unlocking the new goat. There we go. Yeah, I got to come up with a concept now for the next goat, and I got to get that done tomorrow. So Ian says, this is like saying the magic word. This is like saying the magic word on Pee-wee's Playhouse. Oh gosh, that's actually kind of funny. The magic. I remember that. That and the talking toilet. But yeah, Pee-wee's Playhouse. If you ever just watch it now as an adult, and you'll see that there was a lot of jokes in Pee-wee's Playhouse that was not for the kids. There was a lot of jokes that were aimed at the parents, for sure. Samantha says, you're welcome, Brian. Rob says, okay, now I'm looking at EIT. It appears to be a dividend quarterly stock paying 30 cents per share. Is that the strong point of this stock? You're looking at the wrong EIT. I think you're looking at EIT.PR. You want to be looking at EIT.UN. So, well, here, let me spell it. I'll spell it for you on the whiteboard. All right. Why not? This gives me an excuse to go to the whiteboard. All right. So this here is what you want to be typing in right here. There we go. EIT.UN. I love it. By the way, guys, if you did not know, the UN actually stands for unit. So you'll see that with REITs and a few other companies, a lot of funds sometimes, but that actually stands unit. So EIT.UN. I think what you're looking at, and I'll show you guys. If you come in here to EIT, whoa, EWIT, EIT, you'll see there's also EIT.PR.A. There's also a PR.B. And this one here, it is an income fund, but it's basically, it's kind of a, oh, see, look at this. Did they actually, oh, wow, that's interesting. Like, this has been around for a while. There's been some of the PR units, but they're quarterly and they pay a lot less. So you want the real deal. You want your EIT.UN. EIT.UN. There we go. EIT.UN. It's a secret word. No. Brian says my dividends are about 80% of my cost on NXR. It will be my house money even if the stock tanks. All right, there we go. Ian says Canoe pays 10 cents monthly, but I'm sure she will tell you when she reads your comment. Yep, they pay 10 cents a month. Let's see. Rory says Pee-wee got too friendly with the we at a nightclub once. One day, and next day he was fired. Yeah. Although, I mean, Pee-wee, outside of his own persona, outside of the Pee-wee persona, he actually had a couple of interesting roles. He was in Mystery Men. I don't know if you guys remember Mystery Men. He played, what was the hell? I can't remember the name of his character, but he had a superpower where he basically had, he could pass some very stinky gas. That was his superpower. But Mystery Men, very funny movie. John says, how do you know if you received membership? Is it in the new bottom at the top? let me just take a look. Actually, here I have to look. You did not. If you look in the chat, you notice how some people are gray and some people are green. The people who are green have memberships. So in chat though, after she made the gift, it would have announced it. So actually, here I'll see if I can see over here. I got my side monitor over here. Oh, well. All right, my mouse wasn't going over, but that's fine. Let me see here. So the people who received memberships were Rohan, A Blaze Fitness, Moonlight, Christine, and 3D Chill Dog. Oh, that's a cool name. 3D Chill Dog. It's not a 2D Chill Dog. It's there. It's chilling in 3D. Anyway, yeah. So that's how you would know for sure. All right. John says, how do you know? Oh, I just did that one. Scott says, if you're looking on Yahoo Finance, it's EIT-UN. Correct. Yeah, absolutely. Yahoo Finance will usually do the dash instead of the dot, for sure. All right. Samantha says, I'm looking to focus more on my TFSA this year. What would be a good base of stocks ETFs? I'm about 5 years from retirement, but would still like to maximize growth. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I always look at it this way, knowing the size of your runway, and if you're in a situation where you do want to sort of maximize your growth, then your biggest concern when you're looking at anything, 100%, and even still, you know what? Unless you're a pure income investor, your biggest thing is going to be total return. So that is where you're looking at both how much it's growing as well as adding in the dividends as well. So typically, and and just heck, let's pull out the math. I'm going to pull out a pen here just to give you guys a general idea for those of you who don't know it. So if you have a stock, so you'll have price 1. So this would be where that stock started. So we'll say, for example, say it started at $10. And then you'll look at price 2. That's its current price. And let's say, for example, that price is $20. All right. So if you want to know, and let's say during that time you received $5 in dividends. There we go. So to find out, first of all, we got ROI. This is just the return on investment of the stock itself. So for that, you're going to take P2. All right, and you're going to minus P1. All right, and I'm going to put that in brackets. Now, why you're doing that is you want the difference between these two. You want to know how much room it grew. Now, if this was smaller, you'd have a negative number because, well, yeah, you didn't grow, you shrank. And then you're gonna divide this by not P2, but P1. And the reason you do P1 is that this is all relative to your starting price. It's all relative to the starting price. And then you'll just times that by 100% to give you your percentage. All right, so that is your ROI. Now, if you want, and we're going to come down here, if you want your total return, well, you got to do a little bit more math. So you still have your P2, okay, but you have to add in your dividends. So in this case here, plus, and I'll just put DIV. So you add in your dividends. All right, so we got that. And you still have to do the same thing. You still have to minus P1. So minus P1, and we'll put all of that there in brackets. And once again, you're going to divide it by P1, and you're going to times it by 100%. There we go, 100% right there. And that'll give you your total return. So that's kind of an important thing to sort of get a general grasp on. So like in this case here, if you look at it this way, your return on investment, you've got 20 minus 10, which is 10, divided by 10, which is equal to 1. 1 times 100% is 100. So this one here, you basically doubled your money. So your total return, your return is 100%. So that is how that works. Down here, it's a little bit different. So in this case here, you've got, and we'll just break it down here. You've got your 20, but you also got 5. So you're basically 25 minus that 10 divided by 10. So in this case here, it's 25 minus 10, so it's 15 over 10. All right, so when you take that and you multiply it by 100%, well, in this case here, it's a little bit bigger. It's like what, 100 and I think that's 150%. There we go, 150%. That would be your total return. So here's the beautiful thing. When you're looking at, so when you look at these two numbers, so for example, you've got ROI of 100, you got total return of 150. What I can tell right away from seeing this is if I look at the difference between these two, then well, the difference is 50. So I know that in this case here, this here, I can tell that basically dividend-wise, and you're going to use this number here, I make about half as much of my overall growth or my total return is coming from dividends. So most of it is coming from growth. So that's kind of a cool thing. Anyway, it's just a way to do the math, a way to sort of figure it all out. I will always say this too. Do this all in a spreadsheet. Once you've got the formula in, you don't have to type it out for every single thing you want to do it. Like I have this one spreadsheet, and let me show you, you guys. Let me pull it up here. I have to bend over to see it. All right, I am going to blank out. I'm just going to blank out one row because, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. All right, so this is the one I use. So I use this when I'm doing things. And you'll see here, for example, under my ROI, you'll see up here, I've got all my formulas in. And for my total return, I got my formula in. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. So you can build those formulas in. Then when you add something new, you just have to sort of just drag it down as you go. Makes it a lot easier for you to be able to pull all of that together. So good old, and I should make a worksheet. I should make a worksheet that has all the formulas that you guys can use for different things that you can just sort of self-populate. Mental note, it's a goal. It's a goal. All right, let me get rid of that now. All right. Sky says, thank you, Samantha, and love the new goat. The spleen. You got to love the spleen. Let's see. After she gave us a second hint, I couldn't wait any longer. I had to see the new goat. The suspense was killing me. There we go. Ian says, I don't win memberships because I identify as Colombian. Oh, no. Oh, just a second, guys. I got to do one thing over here. I just have to, there we go. Just have to advance. Oh, the Nightbot is still on. But you can see now that the number, the thing has changed. There we go. All right. Yeah, I always like to have, I got the stream on a side monitor on my test account over here. I do that so I can sort of see, like, if there's a super or something that pops up, it gives me a heads up. I just have to, as long as I remember to glance, of course. John is saying XDiv. So yeah, XDiv, there's a lot of good ones out there. XDiv, even things like VFV are not bad. Like you are still getting a good amount of growth. XEQT, you're getting a good amount of growth. If you want a bit of income in that growth as well, ones like Bank and HDiv are doing pretty good. They're still picking up a good amount of growth as well as that income. But once again, with the formulas I was just talking about, you always want to sort of take a look and you want to sort of say, well, here, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. We're going to take a look at two. We'll do two right now. Let me grab that sheet again. Here we go. Nope, wrong sheet. That's actually data from the 0 to 100K challenge. I need the worksheet. All right, here we go. So we're going to look at two right now. We're going to look at Bank. And let's look at, what is it? ZEB? I think it's ZEB. All right, we'll look at the two of those. So, first of all, I'll just move this off the screen for a second as we go collect some data. So we're going to collect the data right now. So we'll go over here. Let's start with, we'll start with ZEB. Let's start with ZEB. So this is your BMO Equal Weights Bank Index. So right now they're currently sitting at 59.14. I'm going to put that in there right now. All right, now we'll just look at the last year. We're not going to do everything. We'll look at the last year. So I'll come into my 1 year, and this is what I say is if you're comparing things, you look at that first year and you've got your open, you got your high, your low. I always use open. The most important thing is to stay consistent. So in this case here, they opened at 42.57. All right, let me just put that in there. All right, perfect. Now I'm going to drag this back over, and I can bring my ROI down. I'll just drag it down here. And so, okay, they grew by 38.92%. Now, this does not take into consideration the dividends. All right, now we're going to take that into consideration. Let's come over here. Let's go to our key data. We're going to bring it in. We're going to take a look here. All right, so there, and give me a second here. So this here, first of all, we need to know they are monthly. So we're going to have 12 dividends in here. So 0.145, and they did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They did 8 of those. All right, so we'll take that down to 8. And then at that point, give me 1 second here. They did a 0.14. All right, I just need 3 more. 3 more for them. We'll just zip over to the other page. All right, that 14 stayed perfect. All right, there we go. So now, I'm going to bring this back. I now know that they received, right here, $1.72 in dividends. So we'll put that in, 172, and we're going to extend this, and there we go. There is their total return for the last year, 42.96%. So if you had that in your TFSA and kept the dividends, that's what we're looking. Now, we're not talking about reinvesting the dividends. If you took those dividends and bought more ZEB, that will increase the number. That will increase the number. Actually, it would even work more for bank because it's a bigger, they have a bigger thing. All right, and here, you know what? I'm going to pull this down. I want to put this right here in the middle. So it's kind of out of way. Let's go to bank. Let's do bank now. We're going to head over to bank. We'll pull up bank. Here we go. Bank, 984. So I'm going to put in their start price. All right, and let's take a look at where they were at 1 year ago. Pull it up. We used open on the other one, so we have to use open on this one, 806. All right, 806. All right, now let's pull this back for a moment before we do the dividends. Let's take a look at just the share value, so the ETF value. Okay, so in this case here, ZEB blows them out of the water, and that they should, because this is a covered call fund. We still have to add in the dividends, but 2208 is what bank did. All right, now this is where it gets fun. We're going to go grab those dividends. So let's head into the key data on bank. All right, so here we go. So they just received 12. Perfect. It is after the 8th, so we get to count it. 0.12. And then we got 0.11, and that will take us down to 10. And I'm pretty sure the 0.11 goes through the other two as well. Yeah, there we go. All right, so now we have their dividends, and they received $1.33 in dividends. Now, you might be thinking, $1.33, but, ZEB paid $1.72. But you got to remember, it's relative to the price. So, this is only $8.06. So this is actually quite a much higher yield. Or actually, sorry, 133. There we go. It didn't add the last one in. 1.33. There we go. Now let's take a look. We're going to pull this up. And here we go. 38.59%. You guys have heard me talk about what the difference is between covered calls and non-covered calls. Is that you lose a little bit of the upside. In this case, yeah, look at this. So now, this is not all upside loss, obviously. You have higher fees for bank because bank is doing a little bit of leverage. It's doing the covered calls. So there is fees of all in there. Like I think the actual MER of bank is closer to 2%. So you can sort of see if we brought that 2% back, that would bring that closer to 41. So There is some loss of upside in there, but they're close. They're close. So if you are a hybrid investor and you love your income, this is fantastic. You're not losing a lot to get a lot of income. And if you are 100% pure, I just want my total returns, this one does win. Now, this is not the end of the story, though. If you reinvest the dividends, in this case here, you're going to be reinvesting a lot more dividends because when you take the yield of it, it's much higher. So you would get closer. So bank is one of these ones that the performance is very, very close. So after, like with this one here, with such small dividends, this probably, for the most part, and take these next two numbers with a grain of salt, but this is probably closer to maybe 44% if you reinvested the dividends. This one here, if you reinvested the dividends, you're probably going to be, oh boy, maybe 43%. It'll be really close though. Like this is, and that's why I picked this example. It would be really, really close. Like I'd have to manually do that. I'm not going to do that to you guys on the stream. Manually do that. But I just sort of wanted to give you an idea of why total returns, return on investment, why they're very, very good to use, because it gives you a good general idea of what you're doing. And I'll give you another example too, why somebody might take bank over ZEB. Even if you are a total return investor, and you're like, I just want the biggest total return, if you need that psychological boost of seeing those nice looking dividends pouring into your account, this starts to make a lot of sense. Now, also, we're in a bull market right now, so everything is going up. If we were to go into a sideways market and everything is kind of not really going up, these numbers will start to change a bit. Bank will actually get ahead of ZEB in a sideways market, or even a very slight, even a mild bear market as well. Bank should win. In a full-on bear market, hard to say. You might get a little bit of downside protection with bank, but keep in mind the leverage might sort of undo that. So it really depends. Evolve is really good at managing. They're the type that they will pull back on how much of the fund they're writing covered calls on for certain market conditions, but it'll be fun to test it. It'll be fun to test it when we go into the next one, that's for sure. But anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a behind the scenes look at that. All right, let me just get that out of there. See, you never know what's going to happen on the show. All right, Luke says, the thing I like about ARC Resources is that they are taking advantage of the low stock price by buying back a huge amount of their own shares. Candace, do you like share buybacks? I love share buybacks. And the reason I love it is that it basically you're subtracting from the outstanding shares. So the number of outstanding shares gets smaller when they buy back shares. That, of course, will, well, the way the math works, that, because basically, well, here, let me show you. I know I say it, but we're already down some rabbit holes. Let's stay down the rabbit hole. So let's say you had a stock, and you had 100 shares of that stock. I'm just saying, as a company, okay? We're talking, you're a company. You created a product. You're selling 100 shares, and basically, you have your value is $1,000. Let's say you have a $1,000 company. I'm just using small numbers, guys. I'm using small numbers, so we'll just say we'll call that your market cap, per se. So you have a $1,000 market cap. You have 100 outstanding shares. Well, that means that your share price. Well, basically, it's going to be 1,000, because that's your market cap, divided by 100, which is the number of shares. So that is equal to, of course, 10. That means that your shares are $10 a share. That's your price. So if you buy back those shares, so let's say you went and bought back half of your shares. So now you have 500 shares, and sorry, and your market cap is still 1,000. There we go. So your market cap is still 1,000. You bought back half of your shares. Whoops, I guess that's a 50. Never mind, guys. Let me grab the eraser. Doop-a-doop-boop-boop-boo. Here's my eraser. I'm just going to get rid of that. There we go. That got rid of a lot more than I had intended. But yeah, so in this case here, you still have the market cap of 1,000, but you only have 50 shares. So 1,000 divided by 50, well, that's actually equal to 20. So you basically have just, in this example, you've doubled the price of how much those shares are worth. That's what happens. So likewise, if you print more shares, so you still have your market cap of 1,000, but let's say you printed more shares. Let's say you doubled your shares. So instead of 100, you've now got 200. 200 shares. Well, in that case, your share price is now only worth 5. So dilution takes them down. Buybacks takes up the price. So it's all math. It has to do with, like I said, the number of outstanding shares. You take your market cap, divide the number of outstanding shares, that will give you your share price. So that is kind of just some basic math, and that's why I love buybacks. If I'm already holding the shares, I love buybacks because I'm making some money. So one of the things that's going on with Air Canada right now, and as you guys know, I've been using Air Canada as a swing trade in the challenge, is that during one of their recent earnings, I think it was about 6 months ago, but they planned to buy back 10% of their shares over the next year. That's going to inflate the price a little bit. That's going to help. That's going to create some upward pressure. I love that. Now, during the pandemic, they actually diluted their shares. So this is just them trying to get back a little bit. It's still a long way to go, but it's one of those things. So yeah. If you guys remember as well, back when ATD was looking to buy 7-Eleven, well, I was more optimistic that they might get through, but they didn't. But one of the things I did is I actually in the challenge, I sold all of my ATD because they were planning to dilute shares to pay for it if that deal had gone through. So I didn't want to get caught in a situation where the share price falls on me and there's not, you may not recover from a good dilution. I mean, you would have recovered eventually, but you don't recover right away. It's not like a simple volatility on the market. All right, let's have some coffee after all of that. Rory says, I don't win memberships either. I think I have it turned off. Yeah, and I don't understand that. Why YouTube would give you an option, or why I think you have to turn it on. I think by default it's off. So yeah, if you guys notice, when you see, so anytime a gifted sub is announced in chat, underneath it, if you have it turned off, you should get a little box that says you have it turned off, and then you can click on the link in that to enable it. Because yeah, if you don't have, if you can't win a membership, then yeah, that's, and there's enough free memberships fly around here that it's worth having it on for sure. Ian says, idea for goats: Wall Street goat, moon goat, Elvis goat, breakdancing goat. Ooh, I like that. A moon goat. These are some good ideas, definitely. All right, and I did turn that off, and there's the January though. That was Paul Rubens' character in Mystery Men. Yeah, Paul Rubens is Pee Wee Herman. That's who we're talking about. Let's see here. Mark says, hey Candace, I have VEQT in the TFSA, but am advised to change to XEQT because of U.S. withholding tax. FYI, my XEQT in RRIF has slightly outperformed my VEQT in the TFSA. I don't know if that's I don't know who advised you to change from XEQT to they want you to change from VEQT to XEQT. Okay. I would have to look at the tax breakdown of both first of all. So, yeah, let's take a look. Why would they be saying that about VEQT? I don't know if let's see if we can find it. We'll take a look here. We'll go to Google, VEQT, VEQT ETF. Let's just pull up the Vanguard page. I will say I've never gone looking for tax information on Vanguard before, but all right, let's see here. Annual, interim, quarterly, IRC annual reports, DRIP. Yeah, okay, I'll accept all of those. Oh, I'm not seeing any tax information there. So sometimes with different companies, they have different things. Let's see here. About this portfolio, purchase information. I was hoping it would be nice and easy for us to find it. Tax. Because, yeah, normally they'll have a tax breakdown for the oh, it's right here. It's right here. It's right out in the open. Okay. So 2024, let's take a look and see. So right now, eligible dividends, and this is VEQT. So your eligible dividends, 32 cents, and this is out of a 79 cents. So that's all. It's not half, but it's a good chunk. Let's see here. You got capital gains, 8 cents out of that. Return of capital, not very much, which is good. Okay, here we go. Here's the foreign income. I think this might be what people are a little concerned about. Foreign tax paid, that you don't have to worry about. But the foreign income, yeah, it's about half. It's about half. All right, let's take a look at XEQT. All right, now this one's a little bit easier to find. XEQT ETF, here we go. And iShares, here we go. iShares equity. Boom, bang, we're in. All right, now, let's see, exposure breakdowns. No, I want literature. There we go. Product core, annual iShares prospectus. See all documents, that's why. It is in here. Let's see here. Shares, RBC, quarterly, portfolio, semi-annual management, semi-annual. Where are the taxes? Where are the taxes, guys? Holy banana bread. Here we go. Let's just put tax information. There we go. 2024 distribution. This is your tax information. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's take a gander here. We're going to need to make this bigger. We're going to need to make this bigger here. All right, I'm looking for XEQT. All right, XEQT. Where are you at? XEQT. XM, XG, XEC, XEI, XE, XEQT, right down here. There we go. All right, and this gets our total. Now, our big thing that we want to look at is we want to look at foreign income. Return of capital. Here's our foreign income here. All right, so in this case here, 40 cents. So that's 40 cents out of, let's see here, where is our, okay, out of 68 cents. So honestly, it's kind of close. When you actually look at the amount of foreign income, it's pretty darn close, because keep in mind, this is out of the 68 cents. The other one, VEQT, it was out of what, 70 cents? Let's just take a look here. Whoops. All right, over here, yeah. Out of here, it was 45 cents out of 79 cents. So when you do the math, those are going to be really, really close. So it's kind of, you know, maybe if XEQT beats out VEQT tax-wise, it's not going to be by much. It's going to be a small amount. But there are maxis out there that will say, you know, you got to grab this one over that one. And it's not so much because of withholding tax, though. That's actually going to be foreign income that you're paying 100% taxes on, per se. So I don't think there's that big of a difference between the two. You know, XEQT, if you like it better, then, you know, that's fine. And in this case here, you did say that they outperformed your VEQT in the TFSA. So, I mean, between the two, XEQT, you're getting more regular dividends. I think with VEQT, is it semi-annual? I think it's semi-annual for that one. So, or is it annual? Oh, now I got to check. All right, let's see here. VEQT. I know it's not quarterly. I thought semi-annually, but let me just double check. Let's see, distribution frequency. Oh, they're not even giving me the frequency. That's fine. We can look. We can see the frequency. It might, now that I think about it, it might actually be, it might be annual. Let's see here. November. So yeah, it's annual. Look, all of them are January. So yeah, so it's annual. There we go. So yeah, I honestly, whichever one you prefer, I think is fine, Mark. I don't think it's going to make a big difference. Maybe a couple cents, but I don't think it'll be a big difference. All right, a J card says Pick.A has outperformed Bank by a lot, has never missed a payment in 29 years. They are about to issue a special div, 10 bonus shares for every 100 held, and increasing the monkey dividend. I guess that's monthly, not monkey. The monthly dividend payout. Pick.A. Pick.A. Is that sounds like a split core. Let me just take a look here. Pick.A. Yeah, exactly. Premium Income Corporation Class A shares. So yeah, so this here, once again, it's a split core. So these are your Class A shares, and let's take a look. All right. Yeah, I mean, I think in the last year, they probably did outperform. I mean, look at where they did. They more than doubled in size. So, yeah, it's definitely an interesting. Now, I do like split core, but once again, I probably would be I probably would be running the lengthy time as well. The only problem with a split core, and not particularly this one, J card, is obviously if you take the Class A as well as the preferred shares, there's a NAV threshold that has to hit, and that threshold is $15. So as long as those two add up above $15, there should be no distribution. Now you said, there should be no disruption with the distribution. Yeah, and we can take a look here. They just did raise their dividend as well. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking a look, and perhaps this one does suit your needs. Now that's interesting. July, April. Oh, this is why. This is why. This is quarterly. I was like, what happened there? But yeah, they were quarterly, and now they're monthly. That's why. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. And did they get impacted though? This is kind of the interesting thing. Back in 2020, some of them got hit a little bit hard, but I'm not seeing any. There would be a little. They actually will put a line in here if there is. So it looks like they made it through the pandemic fine. So yeah. Once again, another option for sure. Scott says if you use Google Sheets, you can get the price today and the price 1 year ago with a function. Ooh, that's kind of cool. And this is the thing, I've just manually have done it in Excel, but Excel does have a lot of interesting things. I wonder if Excel has something I can do that with. I might have to do some research. But yeah, that would be kind of cool. Save a couple steps for sure. Mayor's in the house with a happy Metals Day. Yeah, absolutely. Pretty good at Metals Day for sure. Luke says ARC Resources have purchased 149 million shares over the past 5 years. Well, that's not too shabby. That's not too shabby at all. All right, guys, we're at the hour and a half mark. If you got your last minute questions, get them on in. Get them on in, and we'll hit them up as long as you get them in sooner than later. I'm gonna have some coffee here while you guys are posting away. Oh, while you guys do that, I had an idea of a post to make on Blossom. I almost made a post today on Blossom, guys. I might do it a little later. I might do it this evening. So I'm trying to. One of my goals this year, guys, and you guys keep me accountable. Keep me accountable. I'm trying to be more active on Blossom. So just so you guys know, I'm going to drop the link here. This is the link to Blossom. So if you're not yet on Blossom, what are you waiting for? Click on that link, head on over, follow me on Blossom. I'll follow you back because I basically only look at the people who are who I follow. Well, here, I'll show you. Let's go boom, bang, over here to Blossom. I know you're up here somewhere. There you are. So I come in here. I'm not going to click on this. These are the private messages, so they're private. But I tend to just click on this and I take a look. I like to go through here. And then, if I see one of you guys in here, because these are the people I'm following back, I will, I'll go in and maybe I'll read it. I may not, I'm probably not going to comment on everything. Otherwise I'd have no time to make videos. But, I do like to sort of go through here a little bit. And I saw something earlier today. I'm just taking a look. Where did I see it? I did see one of you. Oh, there's Marina. Marina was one of the lurkers yesterday on Lurker Stream. So there's cool. Momentum Finance. Now I thought I saw something here, sort of yesterday or this morning. I thought I saw one of you guys in here. Oh my gosh. Where the heck? Oh, well. I thought I had. Maybe it's further back. Oh, well. But I do like to come through here and just sort of take a look. And if you guys are in that list, I'll at least check it out, see what you guys are posting about, because sometimes it gives me ideas. Like, I have seen times where somebody's been asking questions in here, and I'm like, you know what? That's going to be a great video idea. So I will definitely saying that. Scott says, I was saying the name of the character in Mystery Men was the... Oh, right. Right, that was his name, the Spleen. All right, yes, absolutely. I know, okay, so there was the Spleen, the Blue Raja, oh gosh. Yeah, those are the ones I remember. The Bowler, the Shoveler. I think that's all I can remember. And of course, Ben Stiller, his character was it just Angry Man or something? Because his power was he'd get angry. But anyway, funny movie, guys. I found it incredibly funny. Heather is in the house with a happy Monday, Candace. Love your Yeti mug. Thank you. Yes, it is a very, very nice mug, and it keeps my coffee fairly warm. That I love. All right, guys. So once again, a huge shout out again to Samantha for those 5 gifted shoves. I was going to say 5 gifted shoves. No, 5 gifted Mountain Finance memberships. So 5 gifted memberships. RA also in there with the super sticker. You guys all rock. And of course, now we've got a new goat. And we'll have a new secret goat tomorrow. I got to figure out how it's going to be unlocked. We'll figure it out. It'll be fun. All right, guys. Until then, I have one last thing I really want to say before before we end this. And, well, that is bye-bye.